How to find off-market properties to wholesale. Wholesalers live and die by off-market properties. The best wholesale fees come from the deals that nobody else ever sees. In this video, I'm going to show you how to find off-market properties specifically for wholesaling. You'll know exactly how and where to source wholesale deals that buyers will be lined up to buy from you. If you want to be a true wholesaler, you have got to have a way that you have consistent off-market leads coming into your funnel so you can sell them. If you're wondering what a wholesaler is, subscribe to our channel, spend more time and learn what a wholesaler is. Basically, a wholesaler goes out and finds a house, puts it under contract, and then sells that contract to another cash buyer and makes a significant spread in between, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 or more just for finding the off-market deal. That's the definition of a wholesaler. Now, how do you find if you are a wholesaler off-market deals? And here's the biggest pet peeve. A seasoned investor like me is happy to buy houses from a wholesaler only if the math makes sense. New wholesalers will typically call and say, Glenn, I got this great deal under contract. Come take a look at it. And we look it up and it's already listed on the MLS. And they're trying to sell it to me for more than on the MLS. What, have you lost your mind? I'm looking for off-market deals. I want to share some ways to find those with you right now. A lot of this comes down to what kind of a wholesaling business do you want to have? Do you want to piddle around and do a few every quarter? Do you want to piddle around and do one every 3 months? Do you want to do one a month? Do you want to do one a week? Do you want to do 10 a week? Look, I'll tell you, our company, we stumbled into wholesaling by accident many years ago. Now we do about 70 a year, and it represents about $1.5 million in profit in our business every single year from wholesaling. Let me tell you how I stumbled into it, just a quick side story. We had purchased a house in a neighborhood, we were under contract for it, and a woman called me and said, hey, I wanted the house, you're under contract to buy the house on so-and-so street. And I said, yes. She said, well, I want to give you $5,000 more than you're going to pay for it. I said, what? Why? And she said, well, because I own 3 rental houses on that street and I wanted to own that house, but you got there before I did. And I said, well, how about that? And by the way, I found it by having a relationship with a local real estate agent who gave me what's called a pocket listing, which I'll share with you in just a minute. So we went under contract. We ended up negotiating and selling that house for $12,000 more than we were going to pay for it. And suddenly my mind was open to wholesaling. This is long before wholesaling was popular. And we started to say, okay, every lead that comes in our office that we don't want to flip, let's wholesale it to somebody who does want to flip. So we got really good at finding deals and having an outlet to get rid of deals on a regular basis. So we could just cherry pick the ones we want to flip for ourselves. But I digress. Let's go back to finding those off-market deals. So there's 2 schools of thought. One is I can spend money and advertise and have the phone ring to me to lock down those deals I can sell to other cash investors. Or I can go out and use legwork to do it, meaning I can drive for dollars. I can drive neighborhoods and look for those vacant properties, talk to neighbors, get in the trenches and figure out what houses are for sale in a neighborhood that are off market. I can go to code enforcement offices and see if they'll let me know what houses are having the biggest problems right now. I can network with a local mail carrier to find out if he or she knows about properties that might be coming on the market because of disease and death and divorce and the house is decayed or is dilapidated, and give me some inside track to a neighborhood. I can talk to a local real estate agent and say, look, I'm willing to pay you a referral fee if you give me a deal that I end up buying from you. Now, I'll tell you, if you're going to be a wholesaler, my triple commission strategy, again, subscribe to my channel, you can learn more about that. But the triple commission strategy I used really doesn't work with a real estate agent. If they get a lead, they want to list it for sale on the MLS for 2 reasons. 1, they get commission on it, and 2, they like to have recognition. And the more they list on the MLS, the more they get recognized at the big breakfast they have once a year for the realtors, whatever. They get very excited about that. So they may not want to work with a wholesaler. If you're going to buy it to flip, that's different, but because you can use them to list it for you. But if you're a wholesaler, the realtors may not want to work with you. But these are ways that you can set up networks where people will bring you leads. Again, think of things like estate sale companies, dumpster companies, clean out companies, antique dealers. These are all people that are going to be in front of potentially motivated sellers for their own business, for their own reasons. And if you tell them, I'll pay you a $2,000 finder's fee if I buy a lead that you give me, well, they might think about you the next time they see a house. And that's one of the ways you can do it with referrals and not you having to spend money. The next school of thought is, I want to spend money. So where do I spend my money? Well, that depends how small or how big you want to get. Our company spends about $50,000 a month currently on marketing. We spend money on direct mail, around $20,000 a month. We spend around $15,000 a month on TV advertising. We do radio advertising. We do what's called PPC, which is I don't even know all about it. My company does it for me, right? Which is good. SEO, which is search engine optimization. So these are all the ways you can market online. We have a website. We have different funnels that are working all the time. And so, plus we have a very strong reputation. We've been buying houses for over 20 years. We have a jingle that plays on TV and the radio so people know who we are. They see our faces. They feel like they can trust us when they're selling a house to us. So we've built up a brand in our neighborhood. If you want to be a successful wholesaler, and which, by the way, we cherry pick about 25 renovations to do a year, and we hang on to a handful of rentals. But the lion's share of our cash flow is wholesaling properties that we don't want to flip ourselves. So if you want to be big, you got to spend more money to do it. If you want to be small, that's okay, but you have to spend money. I put money into direct mail. Direct mail is probably your best bang for your buck. I know you might say, Glenn, that's old school. No one reads their mail. I gotta tell you, people that are selling their houses, if they see a yellow postcard saying we buy houses and it's done correctly, you might be surprised at people that will call you off of that. That's one way you can do it. Now, setting out postcards is one thing. Knowing who to send postcards to, that's an entirely different science. And I recommend, again, spend some time on my site and learn. I'll give you a very high overview right now. You can buy lists of what we think are potential motivated sellers. Again, people that have a vacant house, an out-of-state owner, a high equity owner. These are lists that you can purchase to mail a We Buy Houses postcard to. That's one way you can do it. You don't want to just send postcard to everybody, right? You don't want to waste your money with that. You want to target your direct mail. You can also do what's called by predictive seller lists. AI goes out and says, okay, the last 1,000 sellers in this community had this in common. There's 300 data points for all of them. Their age, demographic, what they do for a living, the hair color, I don't know, all kinds of crazy stuff. The size of the house, the location of the house, all these things. If all these 1,000 people had this in common, that means that in the next 12 months, there's a good chance those same people are going to want to sell another house. Different people, not those same people, the same kind of people are going to sell their house. You can market to people so that when they say, hey honey, we should really think about selling the house. Oh yeah, I just got a card from the company. You see, we know in advance who's thinking about selling their house. Marketing is getting crazy out there right now, right? They're starting to predict the future based on past events. So you can buy lists for that. Of course, you can get bigger and go on TV. You can put bandit signs out. You don't have to be very big to put bandit signs out. That's a great way to get the phone to ring to you to find off-market deals, those We Buy Houses signs. Yeah, they're kind of annoying. They're a pain in the butt, but we used them for years and they work really, really well. So these are ways you can spend money to make the phone ring to you. Now, another way to find off-market deals is to look at things like the pre-foreclosure lists. You can buy pre-foreclosure lists or foreclosed lists. Those are tougher, but you want to find pre-foreclosure. They have a timeline on them because you have to bring that mortgage current before they go into full foreclosure, but that's a list you can go after, a motivated seller. How about a tax lien? Did you know you can go to your local tax department? It's public record if someone's behind on taxes, and you know if they're going to come up on the tax auction soon and lose their house at the tax auction. Let me tell you a great way. We picked up a $100,000 profit in a rental house that we still own to this day. I drove by a house on my way home and I saw a sign that said, this house will be listed at the next tax auction for this county. And I wanted that house. I didn't want to wait till the auction because at the auction, what happens? Everybody bids it up. And I didn't want to go through that headache or hassle. So I said, how do I get my hands in that sucker before they do? Went down to the tax department, found out who owned the house, went to the neighbor's house, knocked on the door, and found out that the woman that lived there had passed away. And a sister who lived one street over owned the house. She didn't know what to do with it. It was in disarray. It was in a bad condition, but she owed about $16,000 in back taxes on the property. They let it go for a number of years. Well, I gave my card to the neighbor and said, I'd like to help her out of this tough situation. I said, just give her my card, let her know I can help her. Well, she called us. Lo and behold, I was able to negotiate a deal with her. Ready for this? I had her sign an agreement with me that I was going to buy the house, but I had to run the title search first. My lawyer did a quick title search and said, I believe we can get this done. I have a 90% confidence level that we can get this done cleanly. I had to risk $16,000 and go down and pay off her taxes. The minute I paid it off, by the way, it was the day before the auction. I had to bring certified funds. The day before the auction, I paid those taxes off. And about a month later, we ended up buying that house. It's still a rental to this day, and we picked up $100,000 in equity as soon as we bought it. That day at the auction, I have a lot of friends who are also real estate investors, and a lot of them went to bid on that house. And when they found out that I bought it, a week later, they said, "You son of a gun, how did you buy that house?" I said, "Wouldn't you like to know?" So I figured out a way to beat the system. So again, if you're a wholesaler, you want to find deals, there are deals to be had. You may have to risk some of your own money. If I were to wholesale that deal, probably could have made an easy $50,000. I would have had to bring the taxes current to get it in my hands, but then I still could have made a $50,000 profit on top of that. So there are deals to be had if you just get really clever about how and where to find them. And I hope that story kind of helps you understand different ways, it sparks your brain to go, oh, clever. Maybe you could think about that when you're thinking about how to find deals for yourself. Here's a pro tip for you. Reverse wholesale. Reverse wholesaling means that you go out and find your cash buyer first, find out what their buy box is, where do they want to buy, what do they spend, what are they looking for, how much work are they looking for, what kind of profit margin do they have to have. If you do all that with a buyer up front, that's going to narrow your search and you can go to a certain area that they're looking for and find a property for them. If you find the property and you already have a cash buyer lined up, boom. That's how you quickly wholesale a property, by knowing their buy box so you can go find it as an off-market deal for them. Wholesaling only works if you know exactly what investors want. Go watch my next video, the crucial step new investors always make, so you can learn how to define your buy box. And you can even learn how to define your investors, your cash buyers' buy box, so you're looking for the right properties out of the gates. I think you're going to find that training really informative and help you be a much more successful wholesaler. Go check it out. It's right here.